From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
American Door Company has been family-owned and operated for over 29 years, supplying Northern California with quality garage doors, garage door openers, and installed with the best service you'd expect from a locally owned company. We serve all of Northern California from Willows all the way up to the Oregon state line. Give us a call today.
Well, if you're a fan of bluegrass and live music, then you don't want to miss this. AJ Lee and Blue Summit. They're actually semi-local. They're from the Santa Cruz area, and they are just an amazing band. You don't want to miss your chance to see AJ Lee and Blue Summit live in concert. Tickets are on sale now at cascadetheater.org, so be sure to grab your tickets today. All right, let's go and take a look at our weather headlines. And, you know, we've got another dry day for most of us. As we take you through the day on Friday. We're going to see the showers kick in this afternoon for parts of the North Coast and eventually overnight tonight, everyone else getting in on that rain. So again, most of it arrives tonight for Northern California. It's going to be cool, wet, and windy, but here's the thing. It's not going to be a complete washout. In fact, many of you, especially in the valley, will probably be able to keep your outdoor plans. Let's just put it that way. We're going to take a closer look at that in the deeper dive here in a bit. Mainly dry and mild through next week. So we're really starting to get a better idea what's happening with the storm over the weekend, but let's get you through Friday. Let's get you through the last day of the work week so you can make plans for the day. So out the door this morning, everyone will be dry. You're going to notice some clouds out there. This is in advance of the storm. And here's the thing. It's going to smell and feel like it's going to rain all day, but it's not, at least for most of us. The coast, on the other hand, yes, you will see some of that rain this afternoon. So there's the clouds coming in from the west. That's the batch of moisture coming in. Behind it is colder air. See the speckled clouds? That's colder air. That's going to lower the snow levels over the weekend as well. So you want to stick around to see where that could be in our deeper dive forecast. But looking at the HRRR forecast model, I think it's doing a pretty good job on the timing. This morning, it's mostly cloudy. We do have those showers approaching the North Coast midday. We may start to see some of those showers kicking in by the afternoon, especially for Del Norte, northern Humboldt by late afternoon. And then there you can see by 6 p.m. western Siskiyou, northern Trinity County getting in on the rain. But look at Garberville, look at southern Humboldt. You're still not seeing much in the way of rain at this point. So it just depends on where you are, and everyone else still dry. Again, it's tonight, early tomorrow morning, you're going to see that rain. Now the winds are picking up. You can see here later this even midday, gusty winds for central Siskiyou County. The areas of yellow and orange and red, I mean, that's what, 30, 40, even 50 miles per hour. So some pretty gusty winds already by midday today. And then you can see they fairly strong here as we go into this afternoon as well. They'll start to subside, but then we've got another storm approaching on Saturday morning. Those winds will ramp right back up for most of Northern California, and especially along the coast, those mountain ridge tops, and in those canyons as well. So for your Friday, here's what we've got. There's the showers by, again, you saw the timing on that on Futurecast, so we're not going to go into that. But for the most part, minus the coast, minus western Siskiyou County, you're going to be dry through the entire day today. And then by tonight, the rain moves in. So for the valley, showers overnight tonight. Off and on showers for the weekend. We're going to get into the timing of all this. Now, that looks really ominous, right? Cloudy, you see the showers coming out of there. But again, I do think you're going to be able to keep a lot of those outdoor plans in the valley. Now, for the coast, it's going to be off and on. And really, it's for everybody. It's not going to be a washout. This is not a weekend where it's going to be raining all day long. It's going to be off and on. You'll get a break here and there. And then you'll also be looking at potential for heavy rainfall, maybe some thunderstorms in some spots. Snow levels are starting to drop. This could impact some of your mountain travel as well. But overall, we're starting to dry things out as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right, that is a look at your Krueger's Quickcast. Let's go into that deeper dive. Now, this is when we're really going to dive into what's going on over the weekend, how much rain, how much snow we can expect, and looking at the storms, because this is the first one that's going to be moving in. That's the one that's approaching as we speak. You can see behind it is a storm system coming on Saturday, and then this right here is what's going to be moving in on Sunday. So let's take a look at that. Cool, wet, and windy this weekend. Here's what we have here for tonight. That's what's moving in. This is 6 p.m. Friday. You see it's just beginning to approach the coast at this point. on Saturday. This is going to be moving through the day on Saturday. Now, it depends on which model you look at, and this is where things get interesting. This one takes it a little bit more to the north than the European forecast model. The European forecast model wants to take this a little bit more to the south. So that will have an impact on how much rain some of us do see. But bottom line, this is going to bring us more wet weather, possible thunderstorms on Saturday, and we're seeing the colder air moving in behind this as well. This one is coming in on Sunday. This one will also bring us more showers. And I think this one will probably have a little bit of a bigger impact, especially for the valley on Sunday than Saturdays. All right, so there's Saturday's system. Don't worry, we're going to go into more in the timing and details in our future cast here, but I just wanted to kind of show you these storms. So storm system number 1 moves through tonight. That's one moving through tomorrow. And storm system number 3 moves in on Sunday, giving us more rain. This one is going to start to kind of move to the north and east, could clip parts of the coast as we take you into your Tuesday and possibly Wednesday as well. So there you can see Monday. There you can see this kind of stays up to the north. Other models want to bring it a little bit more to the south, and that's why I have included a chance for showers in the northern parts of the area, such as Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and even parts of the coast. Maybe some showers on Monday as well, as this system is really close for comfort, right? But overall, this continues to move off to the north. We're dry, but you see how we have it a little trying to clip the coast here as we go into Tuesday, as this system itself moves off to the north and east. And the reason it's taking more of a northeasterly track is because high pressure here is going to start to build in through next week, and that will allow us to dry out and even warm up a little bit as well. Okay, now let's get into the timing of all this, get you right into it. So, taking you through the day today, I think we're going to see more cloud cover than you're seeing here. Futurecast not really handling those clouds too well at this point, but it is handling the rain, and I think the timing pretty good. So there you can see, this is the cold front right here, midday, not a lot going on. But through the afternoon, it's going to work its way north to south and even eastward. So by 5 p.m., sometime late this afternoon, early evening, western Siskiyou, Del Norte, northern Humboldt, even Eureka, seeing some of that heavy rainfall. This is going to be some heavier rainfall coming down, maybe some light showers towards northern Trinity County. But everyone else, as you can see for the most part, is looking at dry conditions. Now we take you into tonight, 10 o'clock. That is now, you see that main, we talked about it, right? But that main flow of moisture is now over Redding. You can see this is the main area that we're seeing that. So look at that. Behind it, we're seeing drier conditions, still not very wet for the eastern mountains, at least Lassen and Plumas counties until 10 p.m. But you can see Bernie getting hit hard with some pretty heavy rainfall. Then we go into midnight. After midnight, now it's hitting the eastern mountains. Now it's even hitting places like Chico and Oroville, and even Willow's getting in on some of that rainfall. 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. So the main event with this first storm system, a lot of us will be asleep and in bed when this is happening. You may hear some rumbles of thunder out there as well. 6 a.m., we're still seeing some pretty decent rain around Chico eastward, but there's storm system number 2 beginning to move on in by tomorrow morning. There it is, 10 a.m. Now we're seeing another round of some heavy rainfall, and this is what I was talking about. This model 2 wants to keep it up to the north. Others want to bring this a little bit more down to the south. But bottom line, you can see the bulk of the rain does, at this point, at 10 a.m. on Saturday, look to be north and west of the valley. Showers, heavy rainfall, gusty winds, looking at the potential for thunderstorms embedded in there as well. 2 p.m. Saturday, look at this. As it moves over the valley, we're not seeing a lot going on. We're getting shadowed here, folks. Now, it looks like, though, as we go through the afternoon, that we could see a potential for some thunderstorms and showers developing for the north end of the valley. But Chico, Red Bluff, Corning, I think your chances are going to be slimmer. This is 2 p.m. Saturday. Look at the valley. Not very wet, is it? Look at the eastern mountains. Not very wet, is it, through the first half of the day on Saturday? It's up to the north that we're seeing a lot of that activity here. Okay, then we go into about 5 p.m. Look at the valley. It's dry. Now the eastern mountains are seeing some showers, possible thunderstorms, and then there you can see a little bit of activity off to the west. So, for your Saturday, if you're in the valley, don't cancel those outdoor plans, because it looks like it's not going to be much in the way of activity. Just make sure maybe you've got an umbrella, something to keep you dry in case you get one of those hit or miss showers that could pass through. Otherwise, I think you've got better chances for those afternoon showers and possible thunderstorms in many of the mountains. All right, Sunday is a bit of a different event because now we've got a warm front that's moving in. That's a different kind of rain that does turn into more of just those overcast skies, fairly steady rain to start off the day on Sunday. Behind that warm front, though, we're going to start to see those snow levels begin to drop. So there you can see here, now the system's moving on through, and you can see things drying out down to the south, a lot of the activity up to the north midday Sunday, and then it really starts to kind of taper off for Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and then there you can see Sunday night into Monday. Now this model again, you see how it's just barely clipping Northern California, but I do think that Del Norte, Northern Humboldt, Siskiyou, Modoc County, maybe even as far south as the Redding area. I've seen some models bring it that far south for a morning shower, but then kind of dissipating. But this may just clip the northern parts of Del Norte, Siskiyou, and Modoc County on Monday. See how close it is? It's not out of the question for that to dip a little bit farther to the south. And that's why I've included the chance for showers on Monday for those areas. But just take note that those chances are going to be pretty slim, as most of it looks to be to the north. All right, so let's take a look at the rainfall totals. I almost feel like this is a disservice, folks, because the thing is, when you're talking about off and on chances for rain, if you get caught under a brief thunderstorm, heavy rainfall, then all bets are off, because now instead of half an inch, maybe you're looking at 3/4 of an inch. But here's the thing: I would say that we're going to be looking at about, now it looks like I'd say 1/4 to 1/2 inch for the valley. Now the valley, most of that I think will be late tonight, and then again we tack on more to these totals as we go into Sunday. Saturday, not a lot, okay? Now this, I want to flip-flop these numbers, Crescent City and Eureka. For some reason, it's showing more for Eureka than Crescent City. Don't agree with that. So again, this is why this is a disservice. The forecast model is having a really difficult time with the overall totals. But I would say upwards of 1 to 2 inches of rain, maybe more, especially up to the north, out towards places like Del Norte County and even Garberville. I mean, it's shown 2 in Garberville, but not in Crescent. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's going to be true. But I do think Garberville could see upwards of 2 inches of rain. And then you can see another little area where we see some heavier rainfall, a little bit of shadowing for the valley, and then some showers off to the north and east. So again, don't take these numbers to be exact, because the forecast models are not doing very good with it. Taking a look at your snow totals, this is just going to show you where we may see snow. Saturday, I'm not concerned about travel, even on Highway 3 at Scott Mountain Pass. So don't worry about travel issues on Saturday. It's Sunday that I think we're going to be lowering snow levels, and that could drop it down Scott Mountain Pass. There you can see Cedar Pass. There you can see Highway 139, Highway 97, right? Even some of the eastern mountains. Now, I would say this. It's mainly going to be above 4,500, mainly 5,000 feet, really, where you're going to be looking at the potential for chain requirements. So here is my advice. If you are going to be traveling, especially on Sunday in the mountains, make sure you got your chains handy, number one, and number two, check those road conditions before heading out. All right, that's a look at the snow. I mean, so again, this is kind of, we're getting that time of the year, right? We got to start thinking about the snow. Also, wind. Now we've got wind to talk about. There is a wind advisory for Del Norte County until 7 p.m. today, and a high wind watch for Saturday for Del Norte County. And you can see all these other areas where we have wind advisories. Bottom line, it's going to be windy starting tonight and through the weekend. But much like that of the rain, it's going to be off and on. So you can see some gusty winds at times, and I think parts of the coast could see winds gusts upwards of 40, 50, even 60 miles per hour. And you can see here, look at Saturday is really the big event here, especially off towards the north and east. Look at that. You're seeing, especially when you see the reds, that's upwards of 50 miles per hour. So I'd say the coast, mountain ridgetops, and mountain canyons will see some of the strongest winds. They'll be gusty in the valley, but you're probably looking upwards of 20, maybe 30 miles per hour. Now, there could be some power outages out there, especially in the higher elevations due to those gusty winds. I mean, look at this. Sunday midday, a little gusty out towards the valley, right? And then those winds should start to subside, but still pretty gusty out towards Plumas County by Sunday evening, Sunday night. And then there you can see on Monday, we do start to see those winds begin to subside a bit, but maybe picking back up again Monday for parts of the coast. Now, the overall temperature trend, we're going to get through the weekend. It cools off significantly, and then we just kind of level off into the mid-70s through a good portion of next week. And, of course, the dry conditions. So we take a look at your lake levels, and there you can see we are looking at the percentages here. And still, over 100% of average. We're not really seeing very much of a big drop in those lake levels over the last 24 hours. The wave heights, let me tell you something, they're actually going to start to show signs of increasing as we take you into your Saturday. So there's a small craft advisory for today, and most likely that will extend on into your Saturday as well, and maybe even a hazardous seas watch or warning. So just be aware of that. Gusty winds, south winds at 25 to 30 knots, and there you can see your waves and your high and low tide for today. All right, let's take you through your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. Here you go. Temperatures are going to be the upper 60s to around 70. We're going to wait until late in the day, evening hours before the rain kicks in, off and on showers, possible thunderstorms through the weekend. For the North Coast, I'm not going to go into too much about the timing of the rain because we already talked about that. But you can see here maybe still some morning showers on Monday. Still up in the air as far as what's going to happen on Monday, but still maybe that chance for a morning shower inland. Now we take you off towards Siskiyou County. I've got the rain there on Monday, but again, a lot of it will be to the north. I may have to kind of scale back on that potential here for your Monday, but there you can see for Modoc County, again, I may scale back on that as well, but here's what we're looking at here for your Friday, temperatures mid-60s and dry. Eastern Mountains for your Friday, temperatures upper 60s to really 60s and even some 70s for some of the warmer spots, and then we're dry through a good portion of next week and starting to warm up as well. Your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south, you can see temperatures upper 60s to around 70. There's the big drop in our temperatures over the weekend, and then starting to warm up as we go into next week. There's your 7-day forecast for Chico. Now, again, don't be too concerned and too alarmed by all of that. I think, Chico, you'll be okay if you have outdoor plans. Just note there may be a passing shower on Saturday. All right, let's take you up to the north here. You can see 71 degrees for Redding as well as Anderson and Red Bluff, 66 degrees in Whiskeytown and Lakehead. Looking at your 7-day forecast for Redding, there you can see the chance for showers throughout the weekend. Again, not a washout. If you've got outdoor plans, especially on Saturday, I think you are going to be just fine. And then maybe a lingering shower Monday morning, but don't count on it. Warmer and drier through most of next week. That is your morning update. I'll be back again at noon for the latest check of your weather. Have a great morning.